You know what's crazy, my friend? Right now, trillions of tiny particles are passing straight through your body, and you can't feel a single one of them. They're smaller than atoms, smaller than anything we can see, and yet, without them, you wouldn't even exist. That's right, everything about you, me, and the universe started from these unimaginably small building blocks. Hey friends, welcome back. Today, let's go on a little journey together. I want to take you from the tiniest particles in existence all the way to the vastness of the universe. Because the truth is, we are all made from something so small, so invisible, that it almost feels like magic. And yet, it's the very reason we're here. Now, here's the challenge. How do we as human beings even begin to understand something so small? Think about it. We live in a world where small means an ant, or a grain of rice, or maybe a speck of dust floating in the sunlight. But subatomic particles, they're millions, sometimes billions of times smaller than that. And at the other end, when we talk about the universe, we're dealing with scales so massive that numbers just lose their meaning. 2 trillion galaxies, each with billions of stars. We can say the words, but do we really see it in our minds? Not really. That's what makes this journey so difficult. We're trying to hold in our heads both extremes at once, the tiny and the infinite. And that's exactly what we're going to try to do today. So let's start small. Atoms. For a long time, people thought atoms were the smallest things in the universe. In fact, the word atom comes from the Greek word atomos, meaning indivisible. But then, science advanced, and we found out atoms can be divided. They're made up of 3 main parts: protons and neutrons in the center, and electrons whizzing around them. But of course, scientists didn't stop there. They smashed those protons and neutrons open and found something even smaller. Quarks, and the particles holding quarks together. Gluons. That's right, the glue of the universe is literally called gluons. Now, here's where it gets fun. Imagine a Lego set. You have different colored blocks, and from just a few basic shapes, you can build castles, cars, spaceships, anything you want. Quarks are like those Lego pieces. Just 6 flavors of quarks exist: up, down, top, bottom, charm, and strange. And yet, from that tiny handful, the entire physical universe is built. And then there are neutrinos. Oh boy, neutrinos are wild. They're sometimes called ghost particles because they almost never interact with anything. Billions of them are flying through your body right now, through your skin, your bones, your organs, without stopping. They don't touch you, they don't bounce off, they just pass right through. It's like you're invisible to them. Isn't that insane? Now zoom out with me. Where did all these particles come from in the first place? Well, we have to go back 13.8 billion years. To the beginning, the Big Bang. At that exact moment, the universe was nothing but energy. And as it expanded and cooled, energy condensed into particles, quarks, electrons, neutrinos. They combined into protons and neutrons, which then fused into atoms, mostly hydrogen and helium. And those atoms gathered under gravity to form the first stars. And inside those stars, nuclear fusion cooked up heavier elements like carbon, oxygen, and iron. When those stars eventually exploded in massive supernovas, they scattered those elements across the universe. And billions of years later, those very elements formed planets, oceans, trees, and eventually, us. So when people say, "You're made of stardust," they're not being poetic, they're being literal. Okay, friend, here's where it gets really mind-bending. Let me paint you a picture. Everything in the universe, every single galaxy, every star, every planet, every atom in your body was once squeezed into something smaller than a grain of sand. No, smaller than that. In fact, so small, it had no measurable size at all. Scientists call it a singularity. Think about that. The vast Milky Way galaxy, with its hundreds of billions of stars, plus Andromeda, plus 2 trillion other galaxies. All of that used to exist in one single, infinitely dense point. And then, boom, the Big Bang. In less than a trillionth of a second, the universe expanded faster than the speed of light. And those tiny particles that came out of it, quarks, gluons, electrons, they eventually became you. So let me say this slowly. The atoms in your body were once part of the singularity at the dawn of time. You are literally connected to the very first moment of the universe. And here's another crazy thought. The particles that make you will never truly disappear. Energy can't be destroyed. It just changes form. So long after you and I are gone, Long after Earth itself is gone, the particles that were once you will still exist somewhere out there in the universe. Maybe part of another planet, maybe part of another star. You are temporary, but your particles are eternal. So let's bring it home. We started with particles so small that we can't see them. We zoomed out to atoms, stars, and galaxies, and we discovered that all of it, the vastness of the cosmos and the complexity of life, began from one single, tiny, infinitely dense point. And now, when you look at your hand or the night sky, you can remember. This is all part of the same story. From the smallest particles to the largest galaxies, it's all connected, and you're a part of it. So, friend, what do you think? Does it blow your mind more that everything came from almost nothing, or that those same particles are still inside you right now? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear how you imagine it. And hey, if this left you curious, I've got a full explained video on another cosmic mystery, the Fermi paradox. Where is everybody? It's all about why, if the universe is so big, we haven't met anyone else out there yet. Go check that one out next. Trust me, it'll bend your brain even further.